Alright, it's only me. I've just come on. I'm going to do one last video before the end of the year. Go and lie down. I'm sitting in up my back room here, sorting things all out, and I just thought I was going through some of the CDs that I bought this year, so I thought I'd come on and just talk about them. Usually I used to do these things all just at my own Facebook page, but I'm kind of moving away from that now and just doing things over here because that's just the way I like to do things now. So kind of pretty good albums this year. I don't know where I'll just start grab something and start talking about it. I think the first new album by anybody this year out of the classic bands anyway was Colour and Chaos by Uriah Heep. Pretty good album, solid but pretty unspectacular. Uriah Heep been pretty consistent for a while now, although lacking they can churn out an album that you can listen to start to finish and think, hey, that's pretty decent, but maybe lacking something on like inspiration. But kind of Colour and Chaos, pretty good. I wasn't really daft about the cover or the title, but the music's pretty good. Bernie Shaw continues to sound like a better version of Bruce Dickinson actually. It made his voice changes as he gets older. So Uriah Heep, Colour and Chaos, that was pretty good. Kiss, Off the Soundboard series continued with this live in Poughkeepsie, which is a recording for the Animalised tour with Mark St John on the guitar. This came out of the blue, nobody knew that this existed. Sound quality's pretty good, obviously no top notch, but pretty good to hear an Animalised a show with Mark St John playing the guitar and finding out that he isn't actually as brutal as they've been saying he was for all these years, and it was really a coin toss between him and Bruce Kulick, although I do think Bruce Kulick rightly got the job and went on to become one of the classic Kiss guitar players. Number 2 for me actually. You get Ace Frehley and then after that you have to Bruce Kulick. But Kiss after Soundboard live Poughkeepsie, pretty good. And then round about June or whatever it was, Yes, Mirror to the Sky came out, which again I got the Quest. That came out 2 years ago. The Quest was no bad, but it was a bit low power, and I wasn't holding out a lot of hope for Mirror to the Sky, but when I heard it, halfway through the first song I was like, hey, this is actually really good. And the more I listened to it, the more I liked it. This is best Yes album. Folk been like, I've said to folk, this is your best Yes album since 90125. Folk like, rubbish, John Anderson's known it, what about Magnification, what about the ladder? I never really liked the ladder as much. There's something about the rhythmic bass that just wasn't Yes on the ladder. They were trying too much with reggae and kind of strange Caribbean rhythms on that album. Magnification, there is an argument for, but definitely Mirror to the Sky. I wish they'd let the bass and the drums rock out maybe a wee bit more, be a bit wilder, but in terms of melodies and what a Yes album should do to a Yes fan, I think this is probably this is my album of the year, without a doubt. This is outstanding. And then Jethro Tull's Rock Flute came after the same thing. Jethro Tull wrote an album out a couple of years called the Zealot Gene, and again no Martin Barr, which was a big deal, but I think Ian Anderson worked with Martin Barr. I think there was just nothing left in it. They were only doing it because they had to do it, and it was time to make a split. And I think there's a guy called Parrish that's playing the guitar with Jethro Tull now, obviously very much aping Martin Barr's style, but Rock Flute, cracking album. I would say it's the best Jethro Tull album since Broadsword and the Beast, and that's well, it's not really that saying that much actually. Probably Christy and Eve, because Catfish Rising and stuff. Roots to Branches was all right. and then what was after that? JTull.com, then a 20-year gap. But definitely, Ken, if you like a bit of Jethro Tull, get yourself a bit of Rock Flute. KK's Priest. Sermons of the Sinner Rides Again. Pretty good album. The guitar work sounds Judas Priesty. The songs are alright. There is some goofiness in it. Kind of Man-O-War style, daft, goofy kind of things with voice boxes and silly lyrics. And I wish Ripper Owens would like turn Tony's vocal style down a wee bit. But that might not be his fault. He might have been told by whoever was producing the album that he had to do that. But the actual Judas Priest, the two songs that I've heard for whatever album, was it Invincible Shield, it's coming out next year, they haven't blown me away. And I really think that KK's Priest is drawn out in front of them. A lot of folk, it's a funny thing, a lot of folk are in the official Judas Priest camp that will only have nothing to do with KK's Priest. I've kind of went off the official Judas Priest, and I'm more in the camp of KK's Priest, because there's just too much nonsense coming out of the real Judas Priest, be it the bland music or Rob Halford's silly beard or making albums with Dolly Parton or whatever. It's just no for me. So KK's Priest, pretty good metal album this year. Udo Touchdown, I think this was around about August or something this came out. I wasn't mind listening to this when we were away camping. This is a decent album as well, very much in the vein of Accept again. His songwriting's that try to get back to the Accept style. Pretty good, maybe a more abrasive album than what Game Over was, his last album. But no bad, worth hearing. Peter Bolt is his new band now. Trevor Rabin, Rio, this came out, when was that now? I don't know, about September time, round about. Anything you get with Trevor Rabin's I was going to be harmonically perfect, which is nice. But that's too nice for me. I like a bit of the sewer in there as well, which you never get for Trevor Rabin. He's too harmonically perfect. But this album really clever, for a guy that multi-instrumentalist, played a lot of the instruments on it himself. People that can do that are pretty gifted. So this is worth getting, although it's a bit all over the place. And I've never liked Trevor Rabin's singing voice. I always thought it was pretty arrogant that he would sing on Yes songs when John Anderson was in the band and could have easily sang along with it. November saw Jimi Hendrix Experience live at the Hollywood Bowl. Was really looking forward to this one. A totally unheard Jimi Hendrix performance for 1967. As it is, it's a bit lukewarm. The crowd on the really into Jimi Hendrix hadn't really set the world on fire at that time, and the crowd weren't really into him. I think they were supporting the Monkees or whatever, and they were more interested in seeing the headline act, and they were kind of standing laughing at him and stuff. But it's no bad, it's decent for what it is, but it didn't blow me away the way it was supposed to. A couple of decent ones for Motorhead, and an archive recording for the Montreux Jazz Festival 2007 on the Kiss of Death tour, which was, it's no bad, it's a decent show. A really strange cover of Rosalie by Bob Seger, which they introduced as a Thin Lizzy song, and to pay tribute to Phil Lynott. It would have been a better tribute if they'd actually played something that Phil Lynott had wrote. But decent enough until you usually with these live albums with these classic bands, when you get to the last 5 or 6 songs, it's just the same thing. Overkill, Ace of Spades, Killed by Death, whatever. It's the first half of the album that's made interesting, because it's kind of newer stuff that they're playing. Worth picking up. And then November came out the Another Perfect Day 40th Anniversary Edition, with a newly discovered show recorded at Hull City Hall, which is no bad. It's a bit raw, but it's the same set list as the one that was on the Manchester show for the last reissue of this album. But I mean, it's worth getting. There's a few extra demos and stuff, but nothing really worth writing home about. And like I said, well, I think Brian Robertson's still alive. The rest of the Motorhead reissues, you're like, who's getting the money for these? Because there's nobody still alive. December we go at Blue Oyster Cult 50th anniversary, first night live, which it used to be a joke like 40 years ago when Blue Oyster Cult had like 3 live albums out. They had too many live albums, and I think since 2020 this will be the 7th Blue Oyster Cult live album since 2020. So it's alright. It's got a full live performance of the debut album, Blue Oyster Cult, which we've already got a live album of that for the, whatever it was, the 45th anniversary. So that was less than essential, although there are some live tracks that never been released before after the Symbol Remains album, which some I like, some I don't like. The one with Richie Castellano singing, do without that altogether. Box set wise, December, no in fact this was October, Larks, Tongues and Aspic 40th anniversary edition with King Crimson. I had to listen to it. The new mix by Stephen Wilson's pretty good. He hasn't stuck rigidly to the original mix like he usually does, and he's been a bit more adventurous. And I got this for Christmas again. I listened to it the other night there. It sounds pretty good. It's the complete session reels are on the Blu-rays. I don't know if I'll listen to them in their entirety, because I got the ones for the 1969 Court of the Crimson King box set. Listened to a couple of them, but there's only so many times you listen to somebody playing like whatever the bass line to something with nothing else along with it for any context. Box set wise, January came out the massive Thin Lizzy 45th anniversary Live and Dangerous box set, which I couldn't wait for coming. And then when my copy came, it disappeared after Face of the Earth. I was the only person that I knew run about here in my side of the country that had a copy of this. So I was sitting listening to the 7 Live and Dangerous CDs that were on this and loving them, and nobody else could find a copy of any. You couldn't even steal it. It was, but what a nice package this is, with all the shows in there. What was it now? 3 shows for Hammersmith, 2 for Philadelphia and 1 for Toronto in Canada, and live at a show at the Rainbow in London. Great stuff. Should get that if you can get hold of it. And then Live Evil, the 2023 remix or whatever it was, for too dear, but I managed to get an American import. I think the British version was like £100 or something for 2 double CDs and a book. I wasn't paying that, but I managed to get, somebody tipped me off that you could import it for America for like £40, which I still thought was a bit dear, but I wanted to hear it, so I splashed out and got it. And the remix of Live Evil's well worth getting. It's really good. If it had been like that in the first place, it would have been one of the greatest live albums of all time. And Jethro Tull's Broadsword and the Beast, which was a year late, but this was well worth waiting for. It's like a heavyweight tome here. They had to actually put cardboard bits into it to support it, because there's, how many discs in that? Is it 8 discs or something? But 8 discs, plenty of live concert, hundreds of demos, hundreds of unreleased music, well worth getting. Probably skin you about £70 if you got to buy it now. But that's pure gold. That's Jethro Tull at their best. So anyway, that was just a wee roundup. What I thought was some of the better musical stuff this year that's come out. Anybody that sat and watched this and enjoyed it, thank you very much. If you haven't, then fair enough. But I need to go along to... I'm going to the Rain's house tonight for Hogmanay. Look, there's lazy dog lying on the floor. Lazy dog! Right, I'm going to bugger off. Right, all the best for the new year, and I'll see you tomorrow. Ta-ta.